Good evening, Bible students. Welcome to Wednesday Bible study. The Jesus Psalms tonight. Psalm 69 is the second longest of the Jesus Psalms with 36 verses. It's one of the most passionate laments. Remember when we talked about types of Psalms? One of the predominant Psalms is a lament. Does anybody remember what a lament is? Cry for help. A cry for help, or some type of cry. And so it's one of the most passionate, and it's a long one, as we said, and it's a cry to God for deliverance from overwhelming distress and unjust hatred and public shame and physical suffering. The psalmist is experiencing all of those things, all of those injustices. He's being mistreated in multiple ways. Psalm 69 begins with David pleading for God to save him from drowning. Not in water, but he's drowning in opposition. People are against him. He's drowning in false accusations. People are making false claims against David. He's drowning in undeserved reproach. And the word reproach is going to be used in this psalm 5 times, and it means embarrassment, humiliation. He's embarrassed. He's been humiliated in front of people. He's alienated from his own family. He's mocked because of his devotion to the Lord, but he's consumed with a zeal for the Lord that isolates him from even his friends. Wow, sounds bad already. Psalm 69 is one of the most quoted psalms in the New Testament, and much of Psalm 69 paints a picture of the Messiah's rejection and his suffering. And it comes through the experiences that David had. And so David had these experiences and he wrote them down. And then in the New Testament, we see that Jesus lived through many of these experiences that David had. But David's suffering is eclipsed by the suffering of Jesus because Jesus was the only one who's ever lived truly innocent in every way. He only loved. Yet he was persecuted, he was hunted, and he was cruelly killed by evil religious leaders and their blind followers. Wow. And we're just getting started. So let's see. Here's a few notable points about Psalm 69 that are probably not on your sheet, I don't think. Well, you might get some answers here. Free answers to questions on the study sheet. It is a psalm of intense sorrow, but in a twist at the end, it unexpectedly turns to praising the Lord. And I think maybe there's a lesson in that, and we'll talk about that at the end when we get to it. The word reproach, I've already told you, is mentioned 5 times. It's a key word in this psalm. It means shame, embarrassment, humiliation. David went through these emotions, and Jesus went through the same emotions, only to a greater extent because he didn't deserve any mistreatment. Psalm 69 is quoted 10 times in the New Testament. It's quoted in all 4 of the Gospels. It's quoted by Peter and it's quoted by Paul. So very popular. I'm sure it was very popular with the early Christians as well. Psalm 69 is one of the, check this out, we haven't talked about this yet. It's one of the messianic lament twins. Did you know there's 2 of them? Yes. Along with Psalm 22. Now watch the numbers here. 22 in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll be doing Psalm 22. Thank you, Joy. It is the twin lament. So it's also going to be a lament, a cry for help. And just as 69 is a messianic psalm of Jesus' suffering, so is Psalm 22. We're going to see a lot of crucifixion scene terminology in both 69 tonight and 22 in how many weeks?
2 weeks.
Isn't that weird how that worked out? David's personal suffering is a prophetic shadow of Christ's suffering. I want you to remember that tonight and as we go in 2 weeks in Psalm 22. Here's a quick outline. There's really 4 parts. And what I'd like to do with this, and I'm sorry I didn't think about telling you on all the other Psalms, but I feel like it would help you when you're going back looking for answers, is if you would mark these sections on your NKJV text. And another word about that, if you go to the papers that I gave you to get your answers, you won't be confused by other things that other translations or other versions of the NKJV say online or on your phone. They might have added some things in there. And I came across a situation tonight where someone was confused because they didn't know where the superscription was, because in their Bible it had the superscription that's part of the text, and then it had another set of words that the editors of that particular Bible had put on there. So you'll get all of the perfect answers off of these copies that I gave you of the NKJV. But I'm glad that happened as a good example to bring that up for everybody. So if that was you, thank you for helping the entire class. So if you would, on your section 1 through 12, verses 1 through 12 on Psalm 69, you might want to put part 1, David is drowning in trouble. And we're going to go through this quick. So if you're going to do it, let's get it done. That's how I tell Jackie at home. If you're going to do it, let's get it done, baby. Right, sweetheart?
Could you repeat that like it's yours?
It's right here. Part 1, David is drowning in troubles. In verses 13 through 21, that's part 2, crying for deliverance. In 22 through 28, part 3, David calls for judgment against his enemies. That's not very nice, is it? Well, there's a lot of that in the book of Psalms. Does anybody remember that word for that type of wording? No? Imprecatory. Imprecatory. It means calling for judgment. We're going to see it in multiple Psalms. We've already seen it in some Psalms, I think. Not sure. We're going to see it tonight and in other Psalms. Calling for judgment, imprecatory. And finally, number 4, 29 through 36, part 4. This is where it unexpectedly turns to praising the Lord. You can take a quick picture of that if you didn't get it all. But you better take it quick, because there it went.
That's not fair. One more time.
All right. I'm going to have to do better with this, because we really can't. We got so much other good stuff. Okay, that's it. Ready? Got it? There we go. Okay, Psalm 69, part 1, David is drowning. Oh, look, you're going to be able to get it off the slides. Part 1, David is drowning in trouble. If you missed it, you're going to get it again on every slide. We're going to tell you what part we're on right there. All right. You ready, Jackie? Here we go. Ready? Okay. All right, here we go.
To the chief musician, set to the lilies, a psalm of David.
Can y'all hear her way in the back? Yeah? Not really, a little bit. Okay. Okay. What's that?
He's telling Jackie to speak up.
Oh, it would be a little better if it was a little louder, but that's what some people say. Thank you, Jackie. All right, here we go. Ready? Here we go.
Save me, O God.
That was perfect. That was perfect, because you don't say this in a whisper. This is the beginning of the lament, and it's a cry for help. When you say this, you're desperate. Save me, O God. Rescue me. Take me out of this problem. Change my situation. Pluck me up from this flood before I drown. Pull me out of the quicksand. Pick me up out of the water. reach into this watery grave and lift me out. Save me, O God. Wow, what a beginning. We don't know why, but it begins with a cry, a desperate cry. This is not a cry that can be answered with, hold on a minute. I'll get right back to you. Let me put you on hold. None of those are acceptable answers to this cry. It needs immediate attention. Let's keep going.
For the waters have come up to my neck. I sink in deep mire, where there is no standing. I have come into deep waters, where the floods overflow me.
Now we get a little more information and we find out about what's going on here.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. It is much easier to see, right? And also pretty good for napping. All right. Deep mire. How does he know it's deep? Because he's way down in it. There's no standing. He's not touching the bottom. He's basically suspended in what? Water and mire. There's no standing. It's deep water. He's being overflowed. Wow. Now we can see why he needs to say, save me, O God. He's down in it. And it seems like when you can't touch bottom, the more you struggle, the more it sucks you down into it. You can't feel the bottom. You're trapped. Your only salvation is for someone to save you. Someone to lift you up, to extricate you, to deliver you, to raise you up, to pull you out of danger. David is overwhelmed. But now we're going to find out what he's overwhelmed. I'm sorry, we got a little bit more about this picture of being overwhelmed. Give it to us, Jackie.
I am weary with my crying. My throat is dry. My eyes fail while I wait for my God.
Now he's transitioning out of the drowning metaphor. And by the way, I just kind of gave the answer away, but what do you think all these words in Warning Watermelon would be? What type of parallelism? I realize there's 4 instead of 2, but we're talking about something that means something else. Right? It's not really water. It's not really mire. We've got something else going on here because he's crying. If it was water, his throat wouldn't be dry, right? He's not really in water. Otherwise, he could drink some, unless it's salty, of course. Okay, but even his eyes are dry, and he's waiting for God to save him. But anyway, nobody shouted out the answer, but that is symbolic. Oh, did you say that, Larry? I thought he said symbolic. Okay. I wanted somebody to say it. Symbolic parallelism. If you think back to your sheet, y'all didn't do too good with the parallelisms, I can tell. But I'm going to still talk about a few of them. But it's symbolic. It's a type of parallelism using symbols, metaphors, similes, things that represent other things. He's tired of crying. His throat is dry from crying, presumably. And continuing on in that metaphor, that's a different metaphor. His eyes are dry from crying. He's all cried out. He's cried out all his tears. Wow. What's going on with David that's so bad? Tell us, Jackie.
Those who hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of my head.
Okay, now we're getting back to interpersonal relationships. He's having trouble with people. He's got people problems. So many people hate him. It's more than the hairs of his head What type of parallelism would that be? It's symbolic. It's not really more than, do you know how many hairs are on your head? Does anybody know? It's a lot. But you know what? I'm glad you asked. And I'm going to tell you right here, if you're blonde haired, you probably have about 150,000. Brown hair, 110,000. Black hair, you've only got 100,000. And if you're redheaded, you're on the bottom with only about 90,000 hairs on your head.
What about gray?
Well, go back to your original color. Go back to your original color.
Some of us don't know what that is anymore.
And then I'm sure at some point they start releasing. So this is at max load. Okay, this is your max load of whenever you were, Yeah. You had just grown up. You just reached adulthood. Okay, that was a good way to put it. Just reached adulthood. All right, so that's how many hairs, but he didn't know that. He's just saying there's so many people that hate me for no reason. Wow. Keep going.
They are mighty who would destroy me, being my enemies wrongfully. Though I have stolen nothing, I still must restore it.
That's not fair. That's why it says wrongfully. They're his enemies wrongfully. He's done nothing wrong. They're wrong by being his enemy. He's done nothing to them. He's stolen nothing, but he feels like he's got to pay them back. This is not fair. All right. And right in the middle of that, wouldn't you know, we got a Christ connection, so we got to pause that. We're jumping over to the Gospel of John. Read it to us, Jackie. This needs no setup. This is Jesus speaking. Well, let me give you this setup. There's another one that doesn't need a setup. This one needs a setup. This is Jesus speaking to the disciples right before he was crucified, right before he was arrested to be crucified. What did he say, Jackie?
Remember the word I spoke to you. A servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours. But they will do all these things to you on account of my name, because they don't know the one who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would not be guilty of sin. Now they have no excuse for their sin. The one who hates me also hates my Father. If I had not done the works among them that no one else has done, they would not be guilty of sin. Now they have seen and hated both me and my Father, but this has happened so that the statement written in their law might be fulfilled. They hated me for no reason.
They hated me for no reason. Jesus is quoting Psalm 69 here, and he's explaining he's done nothing, but these people hate him because he exposed their sin, and they were supposed to be the religious leaders. These are the people that would go on to crucify him in the next day or so. All right, back to Psalm 69. We're still going through David's trouble. He's drowning in trouble, still in part 1. How are we going to finish, Jackie?
Oh God, you know my foolishness, and my sins are not hidden from you.
He's saying the same thing twice there. It's equivalent parallelism. Keep going.
Let not those who wait for you, O Lord God of hosts, be ashamed because of me. Let not those who seek you be confounded because of me, O God of Israel.
These are other people that believe in the Lord, those who wait for the Lord, those who seek the Lord. He's saying, don't let my situation bring other people down. Don't let people see what I'm going through, Lord, and they become discouraged in their relationship with you. Because I am bearing reproach right now. David said, I am bearing embarrassment and shame because I've done nothing and these people hate me. All right? But just like what happened to Jesus, only more so with him. All right. That's equivalent parallelism. Those who wait, those who seek. Keep going, please.
I have become a stranger to my brothers and an alien to my mother's children. Because zeal for your house has eaten me up.
This is a very well-known phrase right here because it's used in the Gospel of John. We're going to read it again. It's about Jesus, but it's also about David, who originally wrote this. He said, my family has turned against me, my brothers, my mother's children, that's his siblings, They've turned against me. Why? Because I have a zeal for the Lord. Zeal for the Lord's house. That means a zeal for the Lord's presence. There was no temple at this time. But David said, my relationship with you is coming between me and even my family members because I'm so zealous for the Lord. And now we've got that Christ connection. This is coming to us from Gospel of John, chapter 2. This is quoted from Psalm 69. Listen how John sets up this Jesus quote from Jesus' Psalms.
The Jewish Passover was near, and so Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple he found people selling oxen, sheep, and doves. And he also found the money changers sitting there. After making a whip out of cords, he drove everyone out of the temple with their sheep and oxen. He also poured out the money changers' coins and overturned the tables. He told those who were selling doves, "Get these things out of here. Stop turning my Father's house into a marketplace." And his disciples remembered that it is written, "Zeal for your house will consume me."
Zeal for your house will consume me. Jesus is quoting it right out of Psalm 69. Still in part 1, David is still drowning in trouble. It seems like we're never going to get out of part 1, but we got a little bit more. Oh, we read that. Oh, here we go.
And the reproaches of those who reproach you have fallen on me.
Another 2 more reproaches, 2 more embarrassments. He's saying those who have been embarrassed are now causing me to feel embarrassment. Let's skip on past another Christ connection. This is coming to us from Romans chapter 15. What does it say, Jackie?
Now we who are strong have an obligation to bear the weaknesses of those without strength, and not to please ourselves. Each one of us is to please his neighbor for his good, to build him up. For even Christ did not please himself.
Christ did not please himself.
On the contrary, as it is written, the insults of those who insult you have fallen on me.
This is saying, really, they hate me because they hate the Lord. They're insulting the Lord by insulting me. I'm his representative. And just as they did it to David, so they did it to Jesus. He told us just a minute ago, the reason they crucified him is because they hated his Father. So those that have insulted Jesus, those that have insulted the Father are insulting Jesus just as well. All right. And a little bit more.
When I wept and chastened my soul with fasting, that became my reproach. I also made sackcloth my garment. I became a byword to them. Those who sit in the gates speak against me, and I am the song of the drunkards.
Those who sit in the gate are the judges and the leaders of the city, and the drunkards, of course, are just drunkards. He's saying from high to low, everybody seems like they're against me. More than the hairs of my head, he said. Wow, it really feels like it's the world against David. Now we're moving into part 2. Now he's going to stop the analogies and he's going to start crying for deliverance from the Lord.
But as for me, my prayer is to you, O Lord, in the acceptable time. O God, in the multitude of your mercy, hear me in the truth of your salvation.
Now, when we get into these type of words, these are things that we can pray. This is a model prayer right here. This is a save me, O God prayer. These are words, these are prayer phrases that we can incorporate into our prayers. It's given to us as a model, as a type of thing to follow. And it's right here in the prayer book of the Psalms.
Deliver me out of the mire and let me not sink. Let me be delivered from those who hate me. And out of the deep waters, let not the flood water overflow me, nor let the deep swallow me up. And let not the pit shut its mouth on me. Now
David has embedded the key to understanding the metaphor. It's right here. We've already seen it, but he's putting the two together now. He's got the drowning metaphor going right here. And then he says, not drowning, it's those people that hate me are so much that I need the Lord to save me, to deliver me from them. I'm overwhelmed by the haters. All right, a little bit more on part 2.
Hear me, O Lord, for your loving kindness is good. Turn to me according to the multitude of your tender mercies.
Let me stop you for just a second, because what you're seeing here, you're seeing 6 requests in mustard. These are called supplications. It's a fancy Bible word. It just means asks. It's an ask. He's giving 6 asks. I'm asking you to hear me. I'm asking you to turn to me. Go ahead and finish, Jackie.
And do not hide your face from your servant, for I am in trouble. Hear me speedily. Draw near to my soul and redeem it. Deliver me because of my enemies.
More excellent, straight out of the Bible prayer phrases for us to use. It's an example of us. It's an example for us, These are good prayer phrases when you need to be saved. Thank you, David and the Lord, for giving us this. 6 asks, 6 supplications of the Lord. Still in part 2, crying for deliverance.
You know my reproach.
There's that word again.
My shame and my dishonor. My adversaries are all before you. Reproach has broken my heart.
There it is again.
And I am full of heaviness. I looked for someone to take pity, but there was none. And for comforters, but I found none.
All right, this is a pretty easy one. What kind of parallelism do you see? Do they say the same thing, the opposite? Is it symbolic? Is it stair-step? Is it repeating? What do you think? Someone to take pity? None. Comforters? None.
Repeating.
Well, this is repeating, but the whole thing in yellow. Someone to take pity? None. Comforters? None. Isn't someone to take pity and comforter like equivalent? Close enough? So it's equivalent parallelism. Equivalent. They're equivalent. They're equal almost. That's what equivalent means. Almost equal. Someone to take pity. All right. Sorry about that. It's just not working well here. A little bit more, Jackie.
They also gave me gall for my food, and for my thirst they gave me vinegar to drink.
All right. Now you can tell by the font used right here. This is another Jesus phrase. This is another Christ connection to the New Testament. It's part of the crucifixion scene that we see in Psalm 69. Vinegar, because he's thirsty, and gall, which is bitterness, because he's hungry. That's adding insult to injury, isn't it? When you're thirsty, you don't want to quench it with vinegar. When you're hungry, you don't want to satisfy yourself with bitterness. Neither one of those satisfies. We're going to get into the New Testament in just a minute with a Christ connection. Matthew's going to use this word gall. Where is it right here? Gall. It means bitterness. It's also in the Gospel of Mark. He uses the word myrrh. Myrrh means bitterness. This vinegar is the same as sour wine, wine that has gone bad. They didn't drink it soon enough, or they made it incorrectly. You can get it both ways. You can have a problem during the fermenting process, and it turns bad and it goes to vinegar. Or you can just leave it uncorked and sitting out for too long, turns to vinegar. So this is sour wine. He said, they're giving me sour wine or vinegar, and I'm thirsty. That's not fixing my problem. Let's read the Christ connection, Jackie. Book of Matthew 27. This is the crucifixion scene.
Now as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they had come to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, place of a skull, they gave him sour wine mingled with gall to drink. But when he tasted it, he would not drink.
This is Jesus on the way to the cross. This was given to him as a crude sedative, a light painkiller. When Jesus tasted it and realized what it was, he refused to drink it. Both Matthew and Mark give us this scene, but when Jesus arrives at the cross scene, this is on the way, when Jesus arrives, Matthew gives us a second scene when Jesus again is given this sour wine or vinegar. He's not given it with the gall the second time. He's given it only to assuage his thirst, not as a painkiller. Let's read that, Jackie. Matthew 27 again, the crucifixion chapter.
From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over the whole land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you abandoned me?
This phrase will be highlighted in 2 weeks in Psalm 22. How does that keep coming up like that? It's amazing. It's the twin lament. Psalm 22 in 2 weeks is the twin lament. And that's where this phrase comes from. So that's why it's in red. But we're not talking about it tonight. We'll talk about it when we get to Psalm 22 in 2 weeks. Perfect.
When some of those standing there heard this, they said, He's calling for Elijah. Immediately one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and offered him a drink.
So this is right before Jesus dies. This is not the crude painkiller of sour wine and gall that was given to him on the road to Golgotha. This is right before death. He's on the cross. He's crying out this phrase from Psalm 22, which we'll hit in 2 weeks. My God, why have you forsaken me? It sounds a lot like David's opening lament in Psalm 69 tonight. Save me, O God. That's where we started tonight. So they gave this to him, not as a sedative, but for his thirst. And he did drink it this time. It did not have the gall mingled with it as a painkiller. And here's another Christ connection. This is beautiful, coming to us from the Gospel of John. We just read this in Matthew. We're not going to read it again. It's also in Matthew. It does add that when he had received the sour wine or the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And then bowing his head, he gave up his spirit for all of us. Amen. Praise the Lord for that. All right, back to Psalm 69. Finally, we got in part 3. David is now calling for judgment. That's called what? Imprecatory, imprecation. Thank you, Daniel. 50 bonus points for that. 50, my brother.
Let their table become a snare before them, and their well-being a trap. Let their eyes be darkened so that they do not see, and make their loins shake continually.
Who's he talking about? These people that are more than the hairs of his head that hate him unjustly. He's actually praying against them. Now in the New Testament, we don't do that, right? We love our enemies. We don't pray imprecatory prayers against them, I guess. Or do you? Or do you? I guess you could. I don't know. I haven't really weighed that out yet. But David is definitely calling for judgment against these people that unjustly hate him and mistreat him. Now, we know Jesus didn't do that. That's why we say we don't call down fire on them in judgment, because Jesus didn't. And if anybody had a reason to, Jesus had a reason. Jesus had the best reason ever to judge people. And he just didn't get around to doing it, did he? He's going to judge one day. But he didn't come for judgment the first time. He came for salvation the first time. We'll get to the judgment soon enough. Pour out, Jackie.
Pour out your indignation upon them and let your wrathful anger take hold of them. Let their dwelling place be desolate. Let no one live in their tents.
Let no one live in their house. Let their house be empty. That's another Christ connection, but we're going to skip it until maybe, I don't know when. Let's keep going, Jackie. Oh, here we go. Now we're ready.
For they persecute the ones you have struck and talk of the grief of those you have wounded.
All right, this is real easy. This is the easiest parallelism ever. You've struck, you've wounded. Are they saying the same thing? Saying the same thing? I'm trying to help y'all. They say the same thing. They're equivalent. It's all parallelism, but they're equivalent. Oh, okay. Let's just move on.
Add iniquity to their iniquity, and let them not come into your righteousness. Let them be blotted out of the book of the living, and not be written with the righteous.
All right, there's one more. Blotted out, not written. Kind of the same. Equivalent. Okay. Whew. Look at y'all. You got 2 in a row. Now, finally, we make it to part 4. Part 4. Those of you that didn't get to write it down earlier. Part 4. Praise to the Lord inexplicably. David just stops with his calling for help, his lament. He stops with his imprecatory prayers for judgment against his enemies. And it's like none of that ever happened. It's like it didn't happen, right? He just drops it. And he starts praising the Lord. Crazy, huh? Let's read it, Jackie.
I will praise the name of God with a song, and will magnify him with thanksgiving.
What about all those people that hate him? What about all those people that mistreat him? What about all those people that he wants the Lord to take care of? Did he forget about them? Seems like it. He's done. He got it out of his system. He complained to the Lord. He asked the Lord for help. He said, Lord, here's what you can do. You can judge them if you want to. And then he dropped it. Is this a lesson for us? Is this how we should handle it? When we're overwhelmed by people that are mistreating us, when people are abusing us, and we did nothing wrong, and they're asking us to pay them back, and we didn't take anything from them, and it's not fair. Is this a lesson for us? After we go to the Lord and complain to him and say, Lord, give them what they got coming. And then without any explanation, David drops his cries against his enemies, and he just turns to the Lord and begins to do the thing that he was created for, to communicate with his Creator. I praise you, Lord. I magnify you with thanksgiving and with a song. That's equivalent, praising and magnifying.
This also shall please the Lord better than an ox or bull, which has horns and hooves. The humble shall see this and be glad, and you who seek God, your heart shall live. For the Lord hears the poor and does not despise his prisoners.
Look at this. He says people are going to see, they're going to see the way that I'm reacting. They're going to see the way that I'm reacting by drowning in mistreatment. They're going to see me not strike back. I want the Lord to take care of them, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to praise the Lord. I'm going to worship God. I'm going to do what I was created for. I'm going to serve my Savior. That's what I was created for. I'm going to do that. A little bit more, Jackie.
Let heaven and earth praise him, the seas and everything that moves in them.
Okay?
For God will save Zion and build the cities of Judah, that they may dwell there and possess it.
This is David's hope. He said, I know God's going to work it out in the end. He's already got a plan. He's going to work it out. I know this is what's going to happen. He's going to save. This is Jerusalem. Zion is one of the hills of Jerusalem. He's going to save it. He's going to build the cities of Judah. The kingdom's going to be saved. People are going to dwell there. People are going to own the land a little bit more.
Also, the descendants of his servants shall inherit it, and those who love his name shall dwell in it.
His people are going to be living in the land for a long time. I know that these troubles that I'm having, David said, they're going to pass. And I'm still going to be here when the troubles are over. All right, so that's our Psalm 69 for tonight. God bless you for joining us. Give the Lord a little hand of praise if you can for his word.